People, Deluded, I'm back again. I'm in my lunch break, as you lot can see. I haven't ate my hula hoops or my flapjack. I have eaten my curry goat and rice though. Obviously today, apologies, people are working, can't control the noise, but obviously today the current themes are probably Saliba's deal, close to completion apparently. In regards to joining Arsenal, he's chosen us. Apparently it'll be 30 million plus 7 million in add-on. It was either 30 million plus 7 million in add-ons or 20 something plus 7 million in add-ons. They'll obviously get 20% of his sell-on fee, and it'll be, I think he said a 5-year deal. So yeah, man, which will be interesting because the season he comes, he'll have 4 years left, and then within the next 2 seasons to follow that, we'd probably have to give him a new deal. Such is the potential, and obviously our model of not letting contracts run down into the last couple of years. So it's interesting. Obviously it looks like Dani Ceballos allegedly is close. If we wrap these lot up and we can get Tierney and Zaha over the line and potentially bring in another centre-half to cover this campaign, it could be a good window. I'd give it, in terms of incomings, you can't not give it 10 out of 10. Regardless of if you agree with the names, the personnel, in terms of the club having areas they need to address and fix, it'd be 10 out of 10. In regards to outgoings, is where you'd probably have an issue, because as great as the incomings, these hypothetical incomings, because we have to remember they're not here yet, would be outgoing. Like you saw Josh Kroenke say, we've got a Champions League wage bill with a Europa League budget. So with that being said, it doesn't matter if you believe that players need to be moved on in terms of wasting wages, because some people will point to Mkhitaryan and Mesut Ozil. Personally, I can see the case of both going, especially if Dani Ceballos comes on loan. But you'd have to keep one. You'd have to keep Mkhitaryan and Ozil. Some people might say Ozil is better than Mkhitaryan, so he should stay. People should say Mkhitaryan is on less wages than Ozil, so he should stay. Realistically, both, you're looking into the 500k mark, and regardless of their abilities, because they're good technical-based footballers, are they the first names on the team sheet? Are they difference makers? We know Ozil can do his thing and Mkhitaryan can, but over 38 games, are they going to be playing the majority of games and being the basis of the squad? I don't know. Personally, I think where we're at with these sort of players, regardless of what you think about them, I look at them too. I look at someone like Mustafi, who I know Mkhitaryan and Ozil can find use for them. I don't feel Mustafi, barring a miracle, can better our team in any capacity. But people like that need to be moved on. There's been no outgoings. Obviously, the window is still going, and if the club can get these alleged deals over the line, then there's still a bit of time to focus energy on outgoings, people, really and truly. But it is positive. Again, I'm staying grounded and level-headed. I know people have said, people that own this club have said be excited. Managers have said 3 or 4 signings. For me, once I see things over the line, it's good. It's positive. I like to hear that we're close, and it looks like Saliba's done, for example. But until it's done, is it done, people? Until I see some announcement on Arsenal.com, or I see some yellow bars on Sky Sports, I don't believe anything. On a side note as well, I'd say congratulations to Dan Crowley for getting his career back on track. I know many people that were gassing him and saying he's the next this and that, next Jack Wilshere, were the first ones to kind of kill him when they saw that he wasn't going to have a chance at Arsenal, and he went to Holland. It wasn't plain sailing for him in Holland. He joined William. He went on loan to SC Combo, I believe, a team we've been linked with in regards to a partnership. The season that followed, forgive me if I'm wrong, last season he played a significant amount of times. I think he got five goals and 7 assists or something like that. He did fairly quite well in that, and he played over 30 times, so that's good for the 21-year-old. First and foremost, he restored his confidence playing in Holland. For me, he's out of the nonsense, because I look, obviously it hasn't happened the way many people think for Crowley, and Jadon Sancho's a better example, and Nelson on loan. I always feel, how beneficial could it be for these players to be out of the limelight? Because again, it didn't happen for Crowley here, but imagine if he was playing week in, week out. One game he's getting criticised, the next. Now obviously people were still following Reiss Nelson at Hoffenheim, but clearly he's under less scrutiny than he'd be at Arsenal, because the same people that love him now, when he's having tough games, are going to kill him. And Jadon Sancho right now, for me, is one of my favourite players between him and Raheem Sterling. How much has he benefited just being away from the media nonsense and the noise and the negativity, and just being able to focus on football out there in Germany? It makes me wonder, people. But I've been wrangling so much about Crowley. He's actually going to Birmingham allegedly for 300k. He's born in Coventry, previously played for Villa, so he knows them sort of sides well, the Midlands area as well, returning home of sorts. I know he's played for England at youth level, but since he's left Arsenal, he's changed his mind. I think he's been called up to the Republic of Ireland squad in some capacity. Forgive me if I'm wrong. He said he wants to play for them, and I don't think, do I have his exact words, people? My phone that I do my little notes on might die, so I purposely left it alone. But he said, the way I felt 2 years ago is different to the person I am now. Growing up, I never owned an England kit. I had all Ireland kits. I do love England. All my family and friends are there, and I've lived there all my life. But internationally, it feels more right to play for Ireland. It's the personal connection to the country. That's fair enough, man. That's what he wants to do. Maybe if his career panned out differently at Arsenal and whatnot, he might have had a tougher decision to make. Maybe if England pushed for him a bit more, but they obviously didn't and whatnot. I don't think he's been capped by the under-21s, but yeah, man, he's go and do your thing, Crowley. But to the meat of this, I've been harping on so much. It's more of a case of what we already know. We know at Arsenal there's several category, let's just say defending. There's many subcategories: clean sheets, defending outnumbered, defending in away games, relishing clean sheets, following midfield runners, set pieces, which we have improved at, but greater improvement, game management. There's several subcategories. We'll be here all day, people. We know, let's just say blanket statement, defending needs to improve, or the way we look at defending needs to improve. If we're going to get top four, if we're going to get back on track as a club, or if we're just going to improve in the short term. But as much as I believe that, I do think we're selling ourselves short offensively, and courtesy of Obino. Follow him on Twitter, big up yourself. I know you don't know who I am, but big up yourself. Does a very good job of all the statistic data at Arsenal and things like that. Now, we know when it comes to the offensiveness, Lacazette, Aubameyang, there's been a couple other people, they've chipped in with goals. We've chipped in and scored a lot of goals, people. So on one hand, people might say offensively is the least of our issues, but how many times have we struggled to break down teams, people, and we're just looking for our fullbacks? We all know last season it will be sideways passes in the midfield. We'll pass it to Kolasinac. He'll either over here or under here. If someone gets onto it, then great. Obviously, there was the occasional game we was playing good football. You look at Leicester and a couple of games against Fulham. Well, a couple of goals against Fulham away from home, which we didn't start off well. Ironically, that kind of shows our 22 unbeaten run, how cracks were being papered. But offensively, when you look past the fact that Aubameyang, Lacazette and all of these players can link up well and score great goals, I don't feel we're doing enough. Now, if you look at this statistic, people, it says our conversion rate stands at 21.5 as a result of the goals we had last season, which is this obviously excludes block shots. It was the highest of anyone in the Premier League, and it's been the highest allegedly since Opta began analysing games in '96. Second is Manchester City. So that shows you, on one hand, you can say, okay, cool, we might not be shooting enough, but we've got a good conversion rate. Less shots, more goals. That shows we're kind of sharp shooters, decisive. And some of that might be true. But I know a lot of you have watched us struggle to break teams down, have watched us go a goal down and not been able to get in. Or have not. For me, when we've gone away from home against sides outside the top six, on top of our defensive errors, we've not pressed them high enough. We've not got at them. And you think about it, people, regardless of what man say, if you're a defender and you find out that week you're playing against Lacazette, Aubameyang and all of these players, you're going to be a bit scared. Now, if we fast forward to the game now and you see that Aubameyang isn't getting the ball because we're playing sideways passes, we're not playing to his strengths, or they're out of the game, you're going to relish it. You're playing away. Arsenal have come to your place. Their top strikers are out the game. As a centre-half, you're going to be confident. How many times do we see this, people? And we see centre-halves who should spend the whole game clocking our men, going forward, making passes. A lot of that is down to how we set up, but in the purpose of this vid, offensively, we've got to look at it, people. Now, to carry on about the conversion rates, for total shots on target or just attempted shots, we're 11th, people. That's why we need some better options, but in terms of goal scoring and stuff, we know we haven't really got many elite attacking players or suitable attacking players, but by the same logic, something needs to change in how we're looking at things. We know Arsenal, we like to pass it in. We've always liked to pass the ball. In the last 2 seasons, I think our football, let's say 3, I think our last 3 seasons, the last 2 in particular, it's really nosedived. Let's be honest, we have not really played that champagne football. Now, admittedly, before we talk about playing good football, there's many foundation things we need to get right, people. But as much as you lot know me, in my vids, I tend to focus on the defensive errors and the defense and the need to improve defensively. Apologies, people, and the need to improve defensively, because I honestly believe everything starts from the top up. From the bottom up. If you think about it as a house, always give the example. What are you saying, man? You good?
Lucky, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What's going on?
You are very
Yeah,
lucky.
yeah, yeah. What's going on?
Next
All right.
month coming good luck.
Yeah, yeah, I will, man. I will.
God bless
Yeah,
you.
yeah. God bless you too, man.
Where are you from?
I'm not from around here. I'm doing something. Start asking me the questions, man.
God bless
Yeah,
you.
yeah. God bless you. Come out, man. Come out the way, blood.
God bless
Come out the way, blood.
you.
Come out the way, blood. Fucking dickhead. Keep it moving. Or let me come off camera and do this thing. Apologies, people. I might even have to stop the vid. But like I was saying, I focus particularly on defensive errors and defensive issues and defensive problems and all of these sort of things. And it's all true. But by the same token, the cracks we see offensively, we need to improve. I think we've got to press better. We've got to defend better. We can simply take more shots. I think some of the players can take responsibility, take more shots when you see it. I don't feel enough of it. I feel Arsenal, obviously, when we see, how do I make this make sense? Obviously, you lot have seen us in typical, I ain't got a typical example, but how many away games have we been a goal behind, or home games we've got a goal behind, or we need to get a goal, and it's very anxious. I don't see people taking responsibility. Yes, we've pulled through in some moments, but I just see people passing the buck. So maybe it's down to game management, maybe it's just down to how we play, if we can learn to fashion more chances, maybe it's down to coaching, I'm not too sure. But I do think, for everything I say about improving defensively and getting the house in order, if you have a house, you sort out the foundations before you think about what TV you're getting in that yard, because there's no point. If you ain't got wires or running electricity and running tap water and all of these things, there's no point thinking about the nice bath and the nice shower. It's a dead example. But all the nice features in the house, the feature walls and all the things you brag about when your friends come to your house, that's Lacazette, Aubameyang and all of them guys. We need to improve the foundation with defenders and people that relish defending. And as much as I'm saying this, defending starts from the top as well. I've said it starts from the bottom, but it starts from the top as well. Everybody contributes to defence. The first line of defence is our strikers. And how many goals have we seen, as much as I think it's mainly the defensive players, where we could have put out fires way before it's developed into our side of the field, people. So I do think there is a lot of work to be done, man. I do think, for instance, if Zaha comes into the team, he'll score more goals, so that would look a bit different. But we do clearly need to shoot more. We clearly need to have more efforts at goal and things like that, and all of them sort of things there. As for this vid, I'm out, people. Obviously, there was a bit of a funny moment there. I don't know if it was a drunk guy or a nitty. Tried to keep in character with you, like he said. And then, yeah, I'm sorry, you lot saw me get out of character a bit and gonna lock off the vid and do certain things. But it's crazy, man. Central London, the amount of knickknacks and things, man. But we got to stay on brand. So, on that note, people, DG, man. This is why I like doing vids in our yard. But I'm out.